Now, what I'm going to talk about today, and I should be using my full time. Please take pictures as you go of the screen so you can go back and reference them. You'll see things put up on the screen that are Wikipedia articles, a lot of text on them. Try not to read them. I know our brains want to just automatically start reading the darn thing, but they're used for a story, for me to be able to tell you a story. And so try not to read them, but take pictures of them so that you'll be able to go and you'll go back and look at what I'm talking about, because they're very interesting, all of them. So I run this project called the AboutTimeProject.org. And as I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to have time for Q&A right after my talk, but I'm here the whole weekend and Sunday, and I'm happy to have many conversations with you all day today, lunch, afterwards. My project is funded by the James Randi Educational Foundation. James Randi, you guys know who James Randi is? Okay, so he originally funded my program, the About Time Project, which allows me extra money to be able to do some of the projects I do. And I do psychic stings. I have one coming up on Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday we're doing something kind of a test. And if you want to know anything that has to do with psychics, that we can have a long conversation about that, but I won't be talking about it today. But Center for Inquiry has, as I said, has been able to help me come to these events and helped with some of the expenses that are associated with this. And we are looking always for donors to be able to help out Center for Inquiry to make this happen. We're getting better cameras, better audio. I have a microphone now that is going to record this for later release. And these are all things that cost money, so give generously. No, I'm only kidding. So my project that I'm going to be talking to you about today is the Guerrilla Skeptics on Wikipedia project. I don't know if anybody's heard of this project before, the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia. Hands anybody who's heard of this and knows what I'm talking about? Okay, so I run this Wikipedia editing team. I started it about 2010. I started it because I attended a SkeptiCamp just like you guys. I was sitting in the audience saying to myself, gee, I really should try to do something more in this community, something that maybe will make a difference. And one of the people on the cruise standing up on top, it was a cruise, but they had a SkeptiCamp on it. One of the people standing up at the lectern, like I am now, said Wikipedia is the source, is the best place we can get information on. If you can, we should make sure that Wikipedia is in the best shape possible, because people all over the world are getting their information from Wikipedia. And we should be editing it. All the rules are rules of scientific skepticism. You must have a citation. The citation must be good. There's all these strict rules, which I'm not going to go into today because it's just too involved. But I have an editing team that I've put together over the years. I have a little over 100 people. They're located all over the world. And we edit in all languages possible. 45% of all the work we do are in languages outside of English. And you'll hear me say this again, because pseudoscience does not end at a border of a language. And people deserve to read Wikipedia in the language that they want to read it in. So we need to make sure those Wikipedia pages are in the best shape possible. Kids all over are plagiarizing our work, right? So let's make sure they're plagiarizing good stuff. That's the way I look at it. So I am here to hopefully recruit one of you to become one of my GSoW editors. So don't be surprised if you feel that inkling in yourself. Rise up somewhere during my presentation and say, I did it, I have to do it, okay. So we take at least 4 months to train. You must be on Facebook, because I will put you in a secret cabal. It's a private group, nobody can see who's in there, and it is called the Secret Cabal. It takes at least 4 months to train. It's over Google Documents, and you work a lot with me. And once you're trained, you can do whatever you want. But we mainly focus on science, scientific skepticism, claims of the paranormal, and people of science. Mostly, that's all we do. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you a couple stories. Now, people tell me all the time, I don't use Wikipedia all that often. Or why should I bother? Nobody's really, I mean, come on. My college professor told me we cannot use Wikipedia. You guys heard that before? You know what? People are doing it anyway. And Wikipedia is not the place to go to get your information as such. You're supposed to read it as an overview and go down to the citations at the bottom and get that content, then use that and follow it if you really want to. But we think that most people are just going into Wikipedia, getting some information that they wanted, like oh, is she still married to that guy? Or when did they graduate? Or like, are they still alive? You know, so we think they're still going in there and grabbing little bits of information and then they're out. We don't know how long a person's spending reading a Wikipedia page. We don't have those kinds of tools. So I am not a scientist. I'm not a computer person necessarily. I am a retired baby photographer at JCPenney Portrait Studio for 34 years. Ah, yes, JCPenney, portrait photography. But when you work in the business of being a portrait photographer of young children, mostly under 5, you learn about cat herding. And that is probably my skill, is herding cats. And gosh, you guys, this is the community for me. So it's just time management skills. So I'm going to address 2 questions right off. The first question that I'm going to try to present to you is Wikipedia really a reliable source to be using for anything? What if people don't even use it? Do people use it? Is there any like benefit to this? Why spend so much time traveling all over the world, Susan, doing talks if people aren't really, it's not influencing anybody? Okay, so that's really what where my talk is. Now this is Barbara O'Neill, and you do not need to know who she is necessarily, and try not to read the print on there. I know you're all struggling too. Okay, the only thing that you need to know is Barbara O'Neill, according to the first line in the lead, that's the first paragraphs are called the lead. Barbara O'Neill is an Australian alternative medicine personality known for promoting dangerous and unsupported alternative medicine. That's all you need to know. Now, Barbara O'Neill is a Wikipedia article that we wrote years ago, and 2019. And I follow the skeptics in Australia a lot because they bring me over there. I'm on one of their podcasts often. And so a lot of my editors are Australian. And so I follow their feed and so on, the Australian skeptics. And I started seeing that this woman, Barbara O'Neill, started creeping up in their media. They were doing podcasts on her. They were talking about articles that the local people in Australia had been writing. And I thought, darn, you know, this name keeps coming up. Let's write a Wikipedia article for her. Now, I want you to know, I'm not going to go into great depth about Wikipedia at all, but I want you to know to write a Wikipedia page about a living human being is it's very difficult. It's not difficult to create it. It's difficult to keep it up because the rules are very, very strict about living people who have biographies. It's not a website, not everybody can have one, it has nothing to do with fame, has everything to do with notability, being recognized for something outside of your normal peer group, and being recognized by sources that are considered reliable or journalistic integrity. The large mainstream media is recognizing this living person for being different from their peers. It's a little confusing. I could talk about it later with you. But Barbara O'Neill, I thought, she's just passing that threshold, just there. So I said to my virtual group of people on the Secret Cabal, you know, I think this person's ready for a Wikipedia article. Anybody got some time? And one of my editors, just somebody was like a person like you, either sat in one of my lectures, heard me on a podcast, or read about me in an article somewhere, volunteered. She lives in a small state, not this one, but a small state, probably has less population than West Virginia, or close, a red state, but that's not really important at the moment. But she feels isolated probably in her state because, you know, it's just kind of hard being a skeptic in some areas of town, in some areas of the country. So she says, I'll do it. I got some time. So I said, fine. She wrote the Wikipedia article and we forgot about it. So Barbara O'Neill, besides being an Australian alternative medicine personality, was just like all the other Wikipedia articles we write. You write them, you move on to something else. Now, what I'm going to show you here, this is called a Google knowledge bar or internet search. And you guys are familiar with this, right? When you do an internet search on whatever search engine you're using, it's going to look relatively similar to this. This is Google. And up in the very top corner, way up the top, you probably can't see it, it has Barbara O'Neill's name. There's no quote marks around it. And it's just a generic search that I did for her name. This is kind of an old screen. So you're seeing a lot of things. Barbara O'Neill used to be famous for being one of the women actresses in Gone with the Wind. But now she's been replaced by this Australian medical person, well, anti-medical person. alternative medical person. So that's why you see that old picture of that woman over there. That's still sometimes showing up in search engines whenever you search for Barbara O'Neill. So what you're seeing, and you guys are probably familiar with this too, is when you do a person, place, or thing search on the internet, you're probably going to get Wikipedia as one of your first hits. Does that sound familiar? You guys can ask, you can shout out or whatever. You don't have to be too polite. I'm from California. We don't do this polite stuff. Thank you, Kenny. So it's SkeptiCamp. It's less formal than a normal conference. So, I mean, we got Elvis coming and we do STEM drag shows. I mean, so come on, you know, be comfortable, you guys. Don't be freaked out, okay? So normally a Wikipedia link is going to be one of the first things that pops up. That has nothing to do with an agreement Wikipedia has with these search engines. It has nothing to do with an ad or being placed there. The reason why the Wikipedia page shows up usually at the top is because that is getting the most hits. So if Barbara O'Neill's website, which is down here lower, was getting more views than the Wikipedia article, then it would be reversed. Okay, so it has nothing to do with anything except who's getting the most views. What website is getting the most views when you Google the name Barbara O'Neill? Now, what I want you to notice, and I told you about this a minute ago, is that at the top here, the first thing somebody who's looking for information is going to see, they're going to see Barbara O'Neill, born in 1953, is an Australian alternative medicine personality known for promoting dangerous and unsupported alternative medicine. That's at the top. And if you look under the photos over here, you'll see it says, Barbara O'Neill is an Australian alternative medicine personality known for promoting dangerous and unsupported alternative medicine, cite Wikipedia. And a little bit lower it says, known for dangerous and unsubstantiated alternative medicine claims. Where are they getting those words from? Did anybody notice? Kenny? Yeah, Wikipedia, look. Here's the first line. Barbara O'Neill is an Australian alternative medicine personality known for promoting dangerous and unsupported alternative medicine. It is verbatim what my editor wrote on a Wikipedia article years ago. They're just quoting us directly. So Wikipedia is directly giving information to what is going to be found on an internet search. Also, your Siris, your Alexas, all that kind of stuff, they're getting it directly from Wikipedia also a lot of the times. And you know where else? Everywhere else. And that's what I'm hoping to prove for you too. All the chat GPTs and all that stuff, they're starting to pull from Wikipedia. So if all this information is coming from Wikipedia and the information is written by my editor who was just some person who said, I'll do it, because I said, oh, gee, what an idea. Let's start taking control of Wikipedia, making sure it's right. It's just me, you know, baby photographer at JCPenney's. So now, when you're doing any kind of activism of any kind, it's important to know if you're effective. You got to have a way of measuring it. Otherwise, you don't know, you know, should we put on this conference in this location? Does it make sense? Do people show up? How many numbers? You know, we like our numbers. We're skeptics. So I asked this question a while back, and one of my friends said, you really need to make sure you know you're effective. How are you going to measure your results? And I'm like, I have no idea. So my friend, who's a data skeptic podcast, he runs the Data Skeptic podcast, named Kyle, who's been to all of the SkeptiCamps I run in Monterey County. You guys are all welcome to come out to mine. It's the second weekend of the year in Salinas, California. So come on out. The weather's great in January in California. So he made this program for me, and I called it Stat Badger. And I only can do one thing with it. I could put the information of all the Wikipedia articles that we've written, and it measures how many times people have accessed that Wikipedia page. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't tell me how long the person's been on the Wikipedia page. It doesn't tell me if it's the same person going to the page over and over again. It just tells me, has it been opened? That's all it does. So that's when I'm going to show you a lot of graphs, and that's the instructions. So this is my Stat Badger graph. We created the Wikipedia article 2019. That's pre-pandemic, right? We didn't really have, we had an inkling something was going on. But my team started really aggressively working on Wikipedia articles concerning vaccines and people who are anti-vax in 2020. We did a lot of articles on that. So you can see that there's not a lot of views. It's a slow thing. I don't know, 100 views a day. We hit 124,445 views up until 2023. Now, what do you guys think happened in 2023 that might have, why would Susan stop the graph at 2023? What's on the next slide, Susan? Any ideas? Yeah, they're going to go up. No, it's not the skeptics. Yeah, something happened. I don't know if you guys remember some of this stuff. So Barbara O'Neill joined TikTok. So TikTok is, and TikTok is whatever it is, you know, it's there. We can't fight it, it's done, it is there. And what it's doing is it's attracting a group of people who have no idea that we have been fighting the same old stuff for decades. And they're coming in and going, oh, spoon bending. Oh, that might be real. They have no idea. They don't know who Uri Geller is. They don't know who James Randi is. They don't have any clue. But they're finding these videos for the very first time and being, wow. We have to constantly reinvent ourselves in new ways of getting information out there. But Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Barbara O'Neill, Health Assistance and Well-Being, this is her TikTok channel. It's a little old. When I made this screenshot, but at the time I made this, she has 1.2 million followers. That's a lot. So what happened to Barbara O'Neill is she found TikTok and she started releasing videos. And I'm going to show you one that's about a minute long. So hopefully the audio works in this. We checked it a minute ago. So I'm glad you're all sitting down because this might be too much for you. Oh, it's not playing. Dang it. That's the volume's up. If it doesn't work, I'll just tell you what it says, but it's much better if you have the video. Okay, well, I'll just tell you what it says because I don't want to fiddle with buttons, and this is the only video on here. So this man right here is listening to Barbara O'Neill talk about sodium, and you see his eyes get bigger and bigger, and how it's dangerous, and we should be using Celtic salt, and we should not be putting salt in any kind of a stuff. And he says, hold on, did she just attack sodium chloride for being sodium chloride? This is Barbara O'Neill, a naturopath who got banned from this, and she's blah, 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 and they had investigations on her, and she lacked any health training at all. She got her diploma from a diploma mill. She provided dangerous, unsupported health advice to vulnerable groups. People should feed their infants raw goat milk, almond milk blended with dates instead of formula. Cancer patients shouldn't do their chemotherapy. Baking soda, wraps, and dietary changes. Okay, she stated if you inject sodium or chloride into your blood, you're going to die. And he says, this is how I know she has no experience because every time I'm on, I prescribe sodium chloride, which is, you know, in the IVs. So anyway, she does a lot of these videos, and this man and others go on TikTok and respond with videos that are very similar and explain what is actually going on. Salt to salt. Okay, so this man, now we trust him. Why do we initially want to trust this man? Any ideas? He has got a stethoscope. Goodness gracious. And he's got scrubs on, and he looks doctoral. So don't, and it's got his initials on there, yeah. So, and it says doctor. Right, so don't forget that we can fall for the same biases that anybody else can. So remember to double check or take it with a grain of salt, may I say. So this man right here is one of many. And what he is he has a channel also on TikTok with 1.9 million followers. Again, it's a little old, this one I'm talking about. So his videos, like the video you just watched, you didn't get to hear it, has hundreds of thousands of views. And all of his stuff is hundreds of thousands of views. So what, all of a sudden I lost my train of thought. So he's got hundreds of thousands of views on his channel. So why did I show you that video in particular of all the videos that are probably out there? Anybody notice anything? Good job, Patty. From all the way from Lancaster, I keep saying it wrong, Pennsylvania. Karen and Patty are from that place over there where the Amish are. Okay, yeah, sorry. So he is showing the Wikipedia article. He's put it behind him the whole time in that video, and he's like reading it off to his followers. Look what it says here. He doesn't say it's Wikipedia, but he's reading it. He is reading the direct words that my editor put just on a Wikipedia article that she wrote, just 'cause. And look at that. So what does that mean? Does this have any impact? Because he's giving the okay, so this guy is taking our Wikipedia article to a much higher level. You know, it's going to get thousands of more, he's going to be educating thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people about Barbara Neal because of what he wrote on the Wikipedia page, but it's not going to make any of our stats go up because he's one view, and everybody else is watching him. So keep that in mind. So here's what the stats did. This is Barbara O'Neill now. And I took the screenshot on the 12th of October. So Barbara O'Neill's Wikipedia views have gone up a bit. So as you can see, this is the beginning where I said that's 124,000 views. And now look at it. Every one of these, you know, sending it up the light blue is another view. So it's surprising that people are still going to Barbara O'Neill's Wikipedia page when you've got people like that doctor on TikTok who's actually giving you the information. But they are. How many more? Got a guess? What is the number I'm going to show you next? Numbers. 30,000. More. What do you think? Because it was 124,000, so you know you got to go up above that. Guess. Huh?
2.3 million.
2.3 million? Anybody want to beat that?
5,500.
I would say 5,500,000,000.
5 billion?
5,000,000,5,000.
Very good. So the skeptic who could read the small print. 5 million.
Yes.
Yeah. It's down here at the bottom if you want to cheat. If you want to cheat, John. So yeah, 5 million views this Wikipedia has had since we created. So this editor who's living in a small town, somewhere in a small state, who just happened to want to write a Wikipedia page because I said, hey, why don't you write this Wikipedia page? And she said, okay, has 5 million views on the article she wrote. That's far better than arguing with people on the internet. Trust me. And your blood pressure is going to be better too. So I tell people, stop that nonsense that you're doing, that you think you're trying to influence people on the internet with like your post that's so clever that there's somebody might be watching, they're going to change your mind. They're trolls. Just leave them alone. Come to Wikipedia. If you got extra time, you'll feel better about yourself and you'll sleep better. Trust me.
Let you know her TikTok page only has 75,000 followers now. I just checked.
Oh.
So
She's lost a lot. I wonder if it had anything to do with Wikipedia.
Yes, because a lot of times they'll try to buy more people whenever they get canceled, and it's very rare that you ever see a TikTok follower lose that amount of people.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
an
that's
active
good.
TikTok
Yeah, so that's Faith. That's Faith. She came from North Carolina. They run the Raleigh SkeptiCamp that I've been to twice now. In the Better Carolina.
Is there nothing that Barbara can do about it?
She can do nothing. Isn't that wonderful? She's tried to have her Wikipedia page deleted. She comes in and she's tried to wipe it out. She's argued with these editors. When we write a Wikipedia page, we wander off and we go to something else and leave the other editors, thousands of editors on Wikipedia. There's nothing she can do. She's begged, she's asked, she said, she's called us names, she doesn't know anything. She has tried so hard to get this darn thing removed. Nothing she can do. Nothing. There's nothing. The rules of Wikipedia are the rules of Wikipedia, and we just are following the rules. So it's a powerful feeling too. So as I showed you, it's 124,000 to 5 million. So big difference. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the citations being valid and accurate would also support it staying up.
Yes, exactly. Because the citations are there, and now that she's more popular, of course, there's more citations from better places that are stronger. Yeah, there's nothing they can do. And I've had people try to get our Wikipedia articles taken down in the past, and it's like, you shouldn't have been famous for something, you know? I mean, you know, you get up in front of the people and talk, somebody's going to write an article, and somebody's going to pay attention.
I was going to ask about the citation. So your editor had to go through like a ton of research to find all this material in order to do the Wikipedia article, correct?
You would think. But anybody who's in the modern day, like now, you should be able to find all the citations you need within about 15, 20 minutes. Because all the citations you need should float way up to the top when you do a search. Somebody from the past, you know, somebody who's famous before the internet, that's going to take a little more research. You're going to have to use newspapers.com and stuff like that. But nowadays, you can tell if somebody's notable enough to have a Wikipedia page in minutes. You do a Google search, you look at the citations, you come up, and you go, sorry, not ready. It took us a while to get Kenny's Wikipedia page up. We followed him for a very long time.
A lot of citations are behind a paywall. Do you have to subscribe to all of this?
No. If you're Wikipedia, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Coleman. Do we have to subscribe to a paywall? So when you're a Wikipedia editor and you've been around for a little longer than 6 months or so, you can get behind all the paywalls because they give us, we have a library that has all that. But I also teach people how to use the Wayback Machine, and a lot of that's part of the training, and so a lot of the stuff we can just get through the Wayback Machine, or we know somebody who will get us the article, or we write directly to the journalist and say, look, I need to know what's on there. So no, and we don't just use online sources, we use actual books too. So we're taking lots of places. A book, you say. So now when I used to show this slide, people would go, who's that? You guys all know who this is, right? Okay, now unfortunately we all know who this is. So Children's Health Defense, have you guys heard of this? Okay, now sadly you do know what it is. But a long time ago, back at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people didn't know what it was. I mean, it sounds innocuous. Children, health, defense, that sounds great, right? Okay, well we decided, one of my editors decided, somebody in Canada, by the way, said we should probably write the Wikipedia page for the Children's Health Defense because a lot of people don't know what that is. So, okay. So this is a pop-up. When you went to this is RFK Jr. for the few of you who don't know who that is. So this was his organization. I don't know if he's still, I know he's heavily involved in this world, but this was a pop-up. When you'd go to the website for Children's Health Defense, it would pop up and want you to put your name and address or email in it so they could send you propaganda. So it's common. So I'm just showing you that for reference. Now, this is a Wikipedia article that my team member wrote. It's pretty much the same as it was before. I'm only going to read a couple lines that I've highlighted here for you. In the lead. Children's Health Defense, nonprofit activist group mainly known for anti-vaccine propaganda and has been identified as one of the main sources of misinformation on vaccines. See all those citations there? And it's against various public health programs such as vaccination, fluoridation of drinking water. And then we have in here, arguments against vaccination are contradicted by overwhelming scientific consensus about the safety and effectiveness of vaccines. And because we also know that people go to Wikipedia, read just like a little bit, and they're out of there, we have that thing over there on the side. It's called a sidebar. So anybody popping in will go, oh, alternative medicine. Okay, I'm out of here. Or maybe they'll say, heck yeah. I don't know. But this is more or less the Wikipedia article that my team member wrote. And you might not have noticed this, but this says censorship is hiding us from you. That was there. You might not have read it. And what that means is they're a little upset that there is a Wikipedia article that reflects the citations are there. And they're a little upset about it. So this is a blog entry. This is an older screenshot, but I'll read you this little bit I've highlighted. Under the guise of fact-checking, Google, Wikipedia, and other tech companies falsely accused Mr. Kennedy and Children's Health Defense of spreading misinformation about vaccines and other urgent health matters. Wikipedia refuses to correct their inaccurate entries despite our numerous attempts to provide them with the truth. Ah, I feel so bad. I am so sorry. They haven't contacted me. But the thing is you can't take these things down. There's just nothing you could do about it. If you're following the rules, I mean, maybe something will be tweaked and they could take out the word quack, or they could turn, we have to back this all up. All the word usage, we have to back it up. But as you guys just saw with Barbara and Neil, they've got other tech companies. Those other tech companies are not providing information. They're getting it from the Wikipedia article. That's where it's coming from. I've done this lecture a zillion times, and they have not caught on yet. I don't know. Nobody. The UFO people are so pissed off at me. They think I'm controlling the reason why we do not have disclosure of the government disclosure is my fault. But yet, these people, it's like, okay, you can't figure out where it's coming from. All right. So here's the Wikipedia stats since we created this in 2019 in April to a few days ago. Children's Health Defense. And here's how many stats we have. Now, we wrote it in English, and I think we wrote it in Spanish. So this number is combined 800,000 views already. So that's a lot. Okay, let's see if I can remember what's on the next screen. So we're going to talk at the point now, here at this point, I usually stop and I add into my lecture, how am I doing in time? I add into the lecture some things that are kind of relevant to the audience that I'm speaking to right now. So let's talk about this. How important is it that we get great citations out there so that my team can find them so we can use them to update Wikipedia articles? Because it's an ecosystem. Somebody's got to be the journalist and doing the research from your amazing library over here. Daniel Reed was able to go into the library and get all this research about the vegetable man. You guys all know about the vegetable man, right? Yeah, that's scary, man. I tell you, I have not walked under a tree yet here in West Virginia because I'm worried those long suckers are going to come out with their little fingers and they're going to touch me and I'm going to freak. So anyway, so Daniel wrote this article for Skeptical Inquirer, which is also where I publish. He publishes a lot of articles in the magazine itself. I tend to publish outside of the magazine, so you can follow my work, and I've got a few hundred articles. They're mostly published online. Makes it easier for me to have a URL immediately, and we can use, if it needs to be used somewhere, it can be used somewhere. Easier to share. So Daniel wrote this article about the vegetable man, appeared in the September-October 2025 Skeptical Inquirer, and I was just kind of on a whim looking through the magazine going, oh, it's hilarious. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I wonder if there's a Wikipedia page for the vegetable man. So I went over and looked, and there was. No images on it. It had like 5 citations, mainly tied to, I think, a festival or something. It was just like, you know, oh, there's this guy and somebody who said, and Gray Barker had made up the story, and that was about all I heard. So I said, what the heck? Let's see if we can use this article. It only took me a couple hours. So I sat down with Daniel's article, and I wrote the Wikipedia page correctly of the vegetable man. And there was no images on the vegetable man Wikipedia page, and I said, Daniel, there's images in your article. And he said, my wife drew them. She's really, wait till you see these cookies, you guys. My gosh, what an artist. So I said, can we use those images? Now, the thing about Wikipedia is, look at these guys going and getting my cookies. I'm glad I took one of each and hid it away from you guys. One of the things about it is you cannot just take a picture off and put it on Wikipedia. It has to be uploaded by the owner of the image. So it's very difficult to get an image onto Wikipedia. You have to ask permission, and they have to upload it, and there's all this process. But I asked him, and sure enough, she uploaded those images, or Daniel did, and now the Wikipedia has a scary-looking guy. And there's a second image. I don't think I took a picture of it on this screen. But now there's a Wikipedia article that's written correctly, and as you can see down here in the citation area, I've used Daniel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The article he wrote 8 times has been mentioned in this article. That's how many times, that's how important that one article was to filling in the story of what the vegetable man is. So, you know, that's where we started. And then let's talk about something else that we've done, because I like to tailor it to you guys. So Kenny Biddle, over there, standing in the back, trying to sneak out. I think he wants more cookies. So there's Kenny over there, and there's Daniel scratching his head or playing with his ears, doing that.
I would like to point out my wife made this shirt that I'm wearing.
Good save.
She literally made the shirt that I'm wearing.
Excellent. And if you look closely, you'll see the vegetable man on him. So he's doing that Carol Burnett kind of tugging of the ear thing, I think. I just froze the screen. I didn't really look at it. So every Friday, Kenny does a show. It's the Skeptical Help Bar. It's fun. I tend to watch it once in a while. And Donna and Kenny, they do the show together. There's Donna way in the back. And Divine Donna, we call her. So she keeps the trolls out and keeps everybody happy and good and on time and nags people if they go too long. So they did this interview with this guy named John O'Connor, and I just happened to be watching. And see, this is why we need a very diverse group of editors, because there's no assignments. I just happened to be there and just happened to be watching this show. And they interviewed this guy who wrote a book, and the book is called The Secret History of Bigfoot. And this guy had already done a bunch of interviews. I mean, he'd already had press and everything. I'd never heard of him before. But they did such a good job interviewing him. Daniel had read the book. So Daniel was asking him really good, pointed questions. And they're in the interview. And I said, I could use that as a citation. So why don't I use that as a citation? Let me see if I could write a Wikipedia article about this guy. Kenny's taking pictures of us with his picture up on the screen. Yeah, smart man. I don't see you guys taking pictures enough. Why aren't taking pictures? Okay, you got to be able to come back to these later. So I said they did a better job interviewing this guy than any of the other any other sources out there. And I spent, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I got this Wikipedia article written right here, The Secret History of Bigfoot. It's for the book. Now, when you're writing a Wikipedia page for a book, it's not as the high standard that a living person would be. So I was able to do this relatively easy, and I was able to use the interview that Kenny and Daniel had done to be able to make a lot of the citations in there because of the book. And it was great. I mean, it doesn't get a lot of views. Books don't necessarily get a lot of views, but you never know. I'm going to create them anyway. It just took me a few hours, and it was kind of fun, and I don't need to read the book. This is the thing. Wikipedia editors don't need to read the book. It's about the citations. So all I care about is what is it the journalists say about the book, and then I'm writing the book. I'm writing the article based on their opinion. Nobody wants Susan Gerbic's opinion. That's not important. Now, Daniel did another thing. So at SciCon last year, which was 2024, right? We're in 2025, right? 2024, I run a thing called, my friend Rob Palmer and I run the Sunday papers. Sunday, we have all these very well done short talks, like a skeptic talk, but about 15 minutes, well rehearsed. And Daniel did a talk for us on Critical Thinking Awareness Day. And your state, well, the people of where we're standing right now, not all of you guys are from here, this has a Critical Thinking Day. This is the only state, I believe, that has one, right, Daniel?
Others are working.
They're working on it because he gave directions on exactly to how to do it. So, yeah, he really did. And there's a video on my channel, if you want to watch, that shows you exactly him giving the talk. So this is a big deal. So we had him upload these photos. These are photos uploaded. Anne probably took that picture of him with the diploma, right? Or whatever that is. He's got a little suit on. It's so cute. It's a proclamation. Thank you, not a diploma. You're right. You're right. You're right, Karen. Yeah, Senator Justice, your Governor Justice signed it. So we have a Wikipedia page for Critical Thinking Awareness Day. That is a freaking big a deal. Now, as more states will have Critical Thinking Awareness Days, they'll get added to the Wikipedia page, and we'll take Daniel off of most. No, I'm not kidding. But we did. So this is something GSoW can do because we had the citations to do that. And I'm going to say this wrong. I have the lectern, so if I say it, Diblick, is it? Diblick? Dibbit? Why did they spell it like that? Whatever. So this box is a ghost hunting box. I have no idea if he's going to talk about it today. He's got all sorts of gadgets up here and stuff. It's all fake. Just don't know. I'm only kidding. But he wrote this article because Kenny writes for Skeptical Inquirer also. Here he's taking another picture. So he wrote this Wikipedia article about this box. Since it's published in a reputable place that is considered a reliable source, we could turn around and use that. And because Kenny now has a Wikipedia article in his own name, that makes it even more likely we can use his articles. That's another plus. Look at this. Here's the Wikipedia article. I've got well, I didn't write this, but one of my editors wrote this in here. He's mentioned 3 times in just that one paragraph. And we asked Kenny, can you send us a picture, upload it to Wikimedia Commons, and he did. So there's now an image of what it is on the Wikipedia page. So I just took this screenshot just a few days ago, so it's there. So this is important that we have people like yourselves who decide they want to write articles for Skeptical Inquirer or other places that we can use as reliable sources. We can't use blogs, we can't use websites. They have to be someplace that has journalistic integrity. So I'm going to have this here for you guys to pull out all your phones, and hopefully you will take a picture of this so you can get yourself a nice subscription to Skeptical Inquirer magazine. They're in the back over there, Divine Donna, right? Yep. She's got a whole bunch back there. You can go and pick up your magazines back in the back. But this QR code will get you to a site where you'll be able to get 6 issues for the first year for $19.95. And they're great. Let me tell you, I had to walk away from my phone for an hour and a half while I put a new battery in. And the only thing that saved me was that I had a Skeptical Inquirer in my car because I don't know, I'd been talking to the birds or something that landed on my car. I had nothing. I was like, what? I'm going through my purse, going, oh, gee, you know, there's nothing to read. I have an hour and a half to kill. So Skeptical Inquirer has, as I said, has been a wonderful sponsor for these SkeptiCamps. They've done a lot of promotion. And what they're doing is they're also trying, I write an article. I will be writing an article using pictures that I've taken here today that will appear, not in the print version, but on the online version of this SkeptiCamp. I do that for all the SkeptiCamps I go to. And what we're able to do is we're looking for, you know, people, they fund me to be able, they give me some money to be able to come to these events. I mean, it's a long ways from California, put me up in a hotel, rent a car and all that. But what we want to do is we want to try to find more sustainable donations that will maybe like fund it more in mass. So we can have clear, like for 2026, I know how much money we have, so I know how many SkeptiCamps we can go to. Now this is not homeopathy. This is, I'm nearing the end of my talk. Nobody got the joke? Homeopathy? There's nothing in it, get it? No. It's got a little hashtag in it. The reason why I have this here is because every day the numbers change on how many times my Wikipedia articles have been viewed. So remember I said we have Stat Badger, we could take all the articles that we've written, put them into this database software thing that was written for me. And I know we've written 2,300 pages. 45% of that, remember, is in languages outside of English. So 2,300. That's just pages we've written. That's not edits we've made. It's just the pages we've written, because we write and edit all the time. Now, how many views do you think that might be? Because I actually know the number. Any guesses? For 2,000 pages?
1 billion.
No, it's not $1 billion.
100 million.
100 million. Okay. Any other guesses?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to hit next, though.
It's not. This is it. This is the only.
By 2.3 million.
2.3 million. Okay. Any other guesses? 20 million.
6.9 million.
Okay. You guys, I'm glad you're sitting down, Kenny. Are you all right? Lean against the wall.
Okay.
We have 203 million have viewed the Wikipedia pages that we have written. Talk about influence. And that's just people clicking on the article. So we don't have a clue how many more people have learned from the Wikipedia articles. We have no idea, because we know that they're also getting their information from TikTok and everybody else. So that's just a massive thing. So as I've said, I'm getting close to ending, and I will be on time. Don't worry, Daniel. So I'm just influencing you. If you'd like to join my Wikipedia project and become one of my editors, or if you have any way of wanting to do more, helping out in other ways. Center for Inquiry is a nonprofit. I'm a nonprofit. I do psychic stings, and we fund people to be able to go to conferences with scholarships of my editors. We do all the training. I can train anybody who wants to be trained. You do not have to have any kind of special thing, but you do have to be able to be on Facebook. And if you don't like Facebook, too bad. This is where the only place we can find that we can use. And we have a secret cabal. You can get in that little group, and you don't have to have anything else to do with Facebook. And we do all our training ourselves. And I said, a lot of it's done over Messenger. Reach out to me over Facebook Messenger, which is and friend me. It's the best place to get hold of me. So that's my nonprofit. Now I have one little small thing just for you guys today, because we're in such a diverse world of all the things out there, of all the things that Wikipedia has. There are so many weird Wikipedia articles out there, and I'll just run through a few just by chance. I just happened to grab, like, you know, October Island, which is a novel, or this song by Alice Cooper, I'm 18. Now you guys will be humming to the rest of the day. We even have Wikipedia pages for just the year. Just the year. It tells all summation of all the different things. These aren't articles I've written. Oh, but this is one that is here. There's a Wikipedia page for SkeptiCamp. We have not updated it in a while. This is the man who came up with the idea for SkeptiCamp, Reed Easthu, 2007. But these are a thing. We haven't really updated this Wikipedia page because we're not supposed to have an interest in things that we're interested in. We're not supposed to be editing things that we're directly involved in, conflict of interest and all. We do I mean, there's Wikipedia pages for North, South, East, and even West. And for, like, you know, snakes, a Virginia snake. I've never seen a Virginia snake. You ever heard of the Virginia snake? So a Virginia snake. Even things like, you know, esoteric things like philosophy and knowledge. Even the word no, K-N-O-W, or the word no, N-O. Even Wikipedia articles associated with, I don't know, kings and things like that. So all those kinds of things. And I'd like to thank you with showing you thanks and you. And that is my presentation today. Thank you very much. I told you I'd be on time.